Word. And we are live. So, the purpose of these next 15 minutes are to go through how to make the time to do the work, the things that you are aiming at, your goals, the work that it takes to get there, and still sleep 8 hours a night. Now, this came up because a few of you have posted comments in the group or in direct messages about how, yeah, this is like, the number one struggle that you're facing. And it makes a ton of sense because our culture is very more all the time, adding things in. It's a technopoly, which is a weird term that I heard in a book a few days ago. But because we have access to so much, we're just like constantly being pressured to do more stuff. But then we don't have time to do the things that really matter. So, and that's a problem. And we often feel like we don't have control of that fact, that we just simply, there's too many things going on, too much stuff's getting in the way. And that's a problem. This is a vicious cycle that keeps coming up. There's a nice little pun image that I found that I just had to put in the slide deck because, yeah, the vicious cycle. So what is it that keeps getting in the way? Well, for some of us, maybe, you were an athlete before, and so you never really had to worry too much about actively keeping yourself in shape until, you start to get a little bit older, things, like we were saying, stuff got in the way. And then maybe you get injured and then you have to take a break. And then when you try to come back to it, it's just not the same. And all of a sudden you're faced with this huge mountain of opposition that wasn't there before and not sure what to do. And you're just trying to fit everything in to your routine, and it's not working. It's like this guy. I don't know how far he gets with this load of garbage or stuff that I maybe he must think is pretty important, but probably not that far. And then you end up just freaked out, like I was saying. There's just like everything is on your mind, huge to-do list, and then hopefully you don't, but like if you're like most of us, you get hurt at some point, and then that sets you back even more. Start to feel more overwhelmed, and we're back to this vicious cycle. So, and this has been my story to a T. When I got to college, it became really easy for me to do unhealthy things because social pressure, and to just rationalize that, I had too much going on. I was in architecture school, like this guy slaving away in the studio. And also, yeah, this was my friend. This was one of my best friends right here. 12-pack of natties. Chilling by the pool or chilling wherever. And I'd been trying to get in shape ever since high school. I was a really insecure kid. I wanted to fit in. I wanted girls to like me or to talk to me. And but when I was in high school, I could afford to go to the gym for 3 hours a day with my friend and do literally every single machine at the YMCA gym in a row. But once I got to college, all of a sudden I had all these other things to do and all these other pressures, and I couldn't do that. I was trying to add more liquid into a glass that's already full. It's just overflowing. So luckily, I stumbled upon a key discovery, which changed the game for me completely. And it's the same exact switch that everyone makes when they go from this vicious cycle, this old school bike trying to attack you, to actually having sustainable results. I call it the time switch. What is the time switch? So instead of thinking that your habits or your goal, your things that you need to do to make your dreams come true take time, start to imagine that doing that stuff actually gives you time, because it makes you a more effective and more efficient human being. So a little investment of time, but you actually get so much more than you put in, because you do everything more expediently. You're more focused, you're more productive, you're more on point, you're more confident, and that lasts. You don't get sick as much. All these things you guys know already. And I just need to believe it. You need to zero in on this time switch and go from things requiring time of us to giving us time, and then boom, creativity explosion. So that's pretty much what happened for me. I put on the time switch goggles, and all of a sudden things started to be more clear. And I started doing the things that made me feel good and confident and capable consistently. And I started to feel more at home and at peace. And there she is. There they are right there. My sun shines. And it was doing these simple habits consistently over time, since like from the end of college all the way till now, that allowed me to explore and go on all these adventures and to take on the things that I have, and to go through the entire roller coaster ride, ups and downs of just crazy anxiety, and then ecstatic victory, and then complete exhaustion, and everything in between. So many sleepless nights and plane rides and escapades, but also just like moments of complete and utter panic and disarray and feeling completely out of control, all rolled into one beautiful package. But having these things in place is what allowed me to go through all of that and to continue to progress in all areas of my life. So what's next? The principle: make steady progress with simple, consistent action. Just like I said before. People make fun of me a lot because I do things slowly. I walk slowly, I choose slowly, I make decisions slowly, but I'm working on that one. Anyways, the tortoise is the one that wins the race. I don't know if you've heard the fable, but it's not about doing the sexy thing right off the bat, hitting the ground running like the hare. He's not going to last, and the tortoise is the one that's going to finish the race on top. So be the tortoise, and don't worry about hitting the ground running, going super hard, and then going through that vicious cycle over and over. Just do the next step from wherever you're at, and do it enough that it becomes second nature, and then we'll work on the next thing. Well, how do I do that? Okay, here's 3 key habits that you can start doing right now that literally take zero time. They embody this time switch, which is that they give you time instead of taking it. Let's explore. Number one, the 10-minute workout. So you guys have seen the something is better than nothing idea. And that's what this is. It's a 10-minute workout. And these numbers here indicate that if you work an 8-hour day, let's say some people work more. Say you work 8 hours on average. If you take 10 minutes of that to not say you don't work, but you do a 10-minute workout instead, that 10 minutes is 2% of 8 hours. So you take 10 minutes out of 8 hours, that's 2% time lost. Now, the question is, how much, say you stick to this routine and you do a 10-minute workout, how much more productive do you think you would become with getting the blood flowing and working on your muscles, elevating your metabolism, increasing hormone production, being just more sharp overall? Do you think it's 2%? I would say it's at least 2%, way more than that. Maybe 10%, maybe 20. But if even if all it is 2%, you already gained your time back in productivity. So working out actually doesn't take any time. Habit number 2, eat slowly until you're 80% full. Now notice you're not doing anything different. No extra prep. In fact, it takes less time because you have to prepare less food because you're only eating 80% of it. And just doing these two things, one thing, eating slowly until you're 80% full, will guarantee if you're going from, you're starting off on your fitness journey and you want to lose some fat and you want to feel better in your skin, just doing that will make a world of a difference for you. Habit number 3, write down 2 things that you are grateful for. Okay, so this one takes a tiny bit of time, but you actually gain the time back 100-fold, I say, because you're starting to shift your brain into thinking, to being grateful, being present, being with the people that you're with and enjoying their company, or being happy in the home that you have, or the car that you're driving, or the commute that you're on, or the food that you're eating. You have so much to be grateful for, but yet we're so living in the future, all of us, that we forget to actually appreciate it. But if you did, then you would magically get way more out of each moment of your day, which is at least 100x more time than you had before, than if you're just kind of zombie mode through it. So appreciate it. Those are the 3 habits, the 3 key habits, which if you're not doing anything else, or you're struggling with trying to do like some next level stuff, take a step back, just work on these 3 habits, because they literally don't take any more time out of your day. They give you time. And then once you've got these things set, then it's time to move on to the next step. Well, let's look at my boy Elliot for a second. He started working out a few years ago, and this was him. It's hard for me to even remember that he looked like this when I met him. He just started a new business, had like a 2-year-old daughter at home, and had been doing this old vicious cycle thing, just like the rest of us, trying to figure out, how to get back to where he was, in high school, playing hockey in multiple sports, and not having that extra 35 pounds around his belly. And this is Elliot, after doing the work, slow and steady, consistently, and there he is deadlifting hundreds of pounds with the sweet man bun and some bicep veins to go with it. It's not the answer. Like, this doesn't happen overnight, and it's not a quick fix. It's not a sexy cure-all thing that you do. It's just grind, ladies and gentlemen. So not only did he, through executing the principle, steady, simple things done consistently, he made this huge body transformation, and he successfully launched that business and fathered another beautiful daughter. So he has two now. They're like 6 and 4 or something like that. They're lovely. And he never fails to be there for a friend in need. He'll fly to meet his friends who are struggling. He'll scour the earth to help somebody who needs him. So here's the most important part. I saved the best for last, and it's been more than 15 minutes, but it's worth it. This is the 3 key habits that we just went through, super important. And this is even more important because this has to do with where you need to be at before doing those habits will stick, before you'll actually be able to make them happen. These are the requirements for any worthwhile endeavor, fitness, life, whatever. Number 1, you must be able to commit to making shifts in your routine. You have to believe that you are able to do this, that you're able to make a change, do something a little different. And if legit, you search your feelings and that doesn't sound like you at the moment, that's totally fine. Way better for you to be realistic and deal with the things that you have going on. And then when that's calmed down a little bit, then you take on something new, then to try to squeeze it all in and end up in worse shape than when you started. If you're like either of these guys, you probably don't have a whole lot of time, a whole lot of control over your time. Either you're fighting for your very survival against lions in the Coliseum, or you're trying not to get thrown over the side of the boat somewhere off the coast of Alaska. So in this case, this guy maybe wants to wait till he gets back to shore before working on that gut that he's going on. Number 2, you have to believe that the outcome is worth the effort. And this is the most important one, actually. This is the most important concept of this entire thing. Because the truth is that getting across this chasm takes effort. You got to make a jump. There's a gap. And so before you get here, before the results start to come, the only thing that's keeping you going is belief. You have to know, you have to taste what it's going to be like to land on the other side, to be on that place, that rock that you want to be on. And that memory has to carry you forth until you start to feel it and see it, and then the momentum builds. And there's my wife again. I'm taking a look back at the trail she climbed. Being at the top of the mountain is sweet, but you can't just take the helicopter ride to get there. You got to walk the trail. Let's take a look at the trail. And that leads me to number 3. You must be willing to get uncomfortable. Doing the stuff takes effort. You're going to fall. You're going to get some blisters in your feet, on your shoes. You're going to fail. People are going to laugh at you, but that's okay. If they're laughing at you, it's only because they're jealous that you're doing something that they can't. So don't worry about them. Pick yourself up, dust the dust off your coat, and then keep on trucking. Athletes know this cycle. They've trained in a particular skill or a sport to achieve a goal, and then when game time happens, it can go, who knows where it can go. Every time is a challenge, and all you can do is show up and apply yourself 100% of everything that you've learned, hope for the best. And sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. But it's a matter of if you get back up and keep going, taking more informed, making better choices based on your learning. That's what matters. Entrepreneurs know this too. This is the entrepreneurial cycle. So stop telling yourself that you don't have the time. Stop sacrificing the things that feed you, doing the things that just sedate you instead. Take that leap of faith. Just give a little bit and see what happens. Start doing some of these things. Just believe in it. See what happens. Trust me, you don't want to see what happens when you continue to kick this can down the road and neglect all these things that you quote unquote should be doing. By the way, if you just are trying to get in shape or accomplish XYZ goal because you think you should do that, that's not going to be enough. You need to feel deep in your feels that you want that thing. It's got to be your own. That's part of these requirements. That's part of the commitment and the belief and the willingness to get uncomfortable. That's what goes underneath it all. Make it your own. So you definitely have the time. Even if you've got a lot going on right now, when is that not going to be the case? Like we talked about earlier. Our frantic 21st century first world life is only going to get more so. So we might as well get started protecting the asset now, doing something, because that's always going to be better than nothing. Even if it's just 10 push-ups in the morning. I bet just that would make you 2% more productive. Well, the good news is that you guys are here, so you're already doing these things. You're in the academy. You're taking action. You're on that road. So the point of this is not to get you to do something you haven't done yet. It's just to remind you of all the things that you're already doing and to encourage you to stay the course. So with that, I'm going to unscreen share. And it doesn't look like anyone's popped any questions. Let me take a quick second. See if there are any. Nope, not yet. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to save this recording down and post it in the group for you all to review. And if you think of any questions between now and then, or you watched it for the first time on the recording and you have a question, just add a comment to the Facebook post, and then we will field all of those as they come up. Thanks for joining us, everyone. This was a lot of fun for me. And there's a baby.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm gonna hang up because of that.
Okay. So that's Marlena and Arlen signing off.
All right.
And Papa's going to sign off too.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.